Hey Messy family, welcome back to the channel. My name is Curtis.
I'm Sahanati. In today's segment, we're hearing a story of a woman who was married for 14 years and it ended up in domestic violence. She eventually got out of her situation and she's gonna tell how she did that.
Now Messy family, we do want to add a trigger warning. This does have to do with DV, other known as domestic violence, so please proceed with caution.
Today is July the 1st and I left my husband in my home April of this year. And I have not looked back. Do I have days where I'm crying and extremely upset about it? Yes, I am. But I think it's time for me to really tell my story. So I get a couple of messages from people, and I know my video seems choppy because I've been in fear of actually telling what happened, and also that level of protection that someone who has been abused, they try to protect their abuser. So in some sense, I'm still trying to protect that person and that part of my life because it's not pretty. It's ugly. And if you know anything about me, this is not my personality at all. Like, I am not this person, but this is just what I'm going through in this season of my life. And I am going to share it. I want to share it. And then if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. But I have to get it out. And then maybe I'll go to eventually dancing on this app. But right now, I'm here to tell my story. So I get messages from people telling me to stay in prayer. Thank you. I'm constantly in prayer, and I appreciate everybody that's been praying for me because I can feel the strength from others. I also had a cousin call me yesterday, and she talked to me and she prayed with me, and I was like, "You're like one of the first people that have actually called me to pray for me and with me." So I appreciated that. But I say that one of my journal entries, someone I know, they came on and they said I was writing a love letter to myself. And she told me to write a love letter to God. And that is something I have actually been doing since about 2007. I've been writing my journal entries, say, "Dear Lord, I love you, Lord. Dear God," like I do that. So I was cleaning up my room last night and I found my prayer journal. This is one of the prayer journals that I have. It was going to be a new one. I tell you, I have stacks of them. But this one, I started an entry on 2 days after my birthday. My birthday is January 26th. This one is January 28th of this year, 2025. And in order for me to tell my story, I am going to have to get out of fear so I can tie these videos together because they are all over the place. And that's because my emotions are all over the place. But I'm ready to tell. So I have a journal entry that I'm going to read. So stick around. If you stick around, you'll understand. It'll all come together eventually. It's going to take me a couple of videos to get through it, but stick around for this journal entry. This says, "Good morning, Lord. 20 years ago, I was in an abusive relationship. Today, I'm in the same situation with a different monster. Not even a monster, a demon. How can every happy moment in my life get overshadowed by someone else's darkness and insecurities? My 20th class reunion, my husband ruined my 20th class reunion for me. Tamar Braxton's concert. I'm a huge Tamar Braxton fan. And the day that I met her, I got a chance to sing on stage. He ruined that for me. And now my birthday. I spent my birthday alone. I spent my birthday alone this year, and that's another video. But my feelings are so hurt. I did absolutely nothing to deserve this pain. I had so many chances to leave, but what about everything I worked hard for? And whenever I write in my prayer journal, if the Lord starts speaking to me, I stop whatever I'm writing and I write what He says. And this is what the Lord said. This is what the Lord said. Everything you have, I have provided. You have depended on me and not anything or anyone else. I will restore, just depend on me. This is January 28th. Then I wrote, "Lord, I get tired of starting over. I'm 41, Lord. Why? My life has been for someone else for years. Lord, I'm asking you to provide me additional income so I can get out of debt." Remember, I told you all in another video I was the breadwinner and I had to pay all the bills, or I was paying all the bills, and my debt I had to pay just minimum balances. So I just want to get out of debt and get me a car. And every time I leave, he takes my car from me. He's taking my car from me again. Who would have known? I'm ready for a fresh start. I will go back to serving like I promised. I was serving in the children's ministry, but I got distracted. And the reason why I got distracted is because every single time that I serve in the children's ministry, we argue or fight. The first time he put his hands on me, I served in the children's ministry that morning. By that evening, I was abused. I need to get out of this marriage safely. I'm in danger. I need enough to get an apartment and new furniture. And the reason why I was specific with the new furniture was because I furnished the entire house. But I know if I left, he wasn't going to let me take a thing out of there. So that's what I asked the Lord for. And then the Lord gave me a scripture, and then I turned to my Bible, and I do have my Bible here, to 1 Peter 3:10 through 12. And it says, "For whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit." I am not lying about what happened to me, to the family member of his who telling me there's two sides to a story. I would never lie to my husband like this. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace. What that word say? Let him seek peace and pursue it. This is my story, and stick around for me to tell it. So this is part 2 of my story, my side of the story of why I left my husband for 14 years because of domestic violence. So the first time that I experienced domestic violence with my current husband, I woke up that day and it was just a normal Sunday for us. I got up, prepared to get ready for church because I had to serve at the children's ministry department at my church. So I had to be there early, went there, taught kindergarten, first grade, came home, and then we all needed new phones. So him, myself, and the 3 children. So my 2 stepchildren and my son, we all needed new phones. So we went up to Verizon, was up at Verizon for like an hour, getting new phones. And I paid all this money for the paying off lines, doing all this stuff. So on the way home, there is a new bar that opened up on the corner by our house. So I was basically like, oh, that place is hopping today. It's jumping today. And he was like, yeah. He kind of like ignored it. But I know this is a spot that you go to frequently. So it's a nice day. This is April of 2024. So it's a nice day. It's one of the first nice days that we've had. So let's go. We're a Velcro couple. To side note, my husband and I, we're a Velcro couple. If you know us, we go everywhere and do everything together. If I have something that I'm doing with my friends and I know I might have too much Prosecco or something like that, he's coming to pick me up. We do everything. If you come to our house, it's so quiet, it's so peaceful, and we just always enjoyed each other's company. So me saying something about going to this bar on the corner or this new spot on the corner, like, why didn't we turn in? So then next door to this place is an ice cream shop. And I was like, well, let's get some ice cream. We should get some ice cream because we always go get ice cream and we go across the street to like sit on the park benches. He's like, you don't need no ice cream. I was like, okay, I don't need any ice cream. So we proceed to go home. We get home. As soon as we get home, he tells me that he's going out to meet his friend to shoot pool. I'm like, what? It's a beautiful Sunday and you are going to a bar to shoot pool, and it's dark in this bar? So he's like, yeah, we're gonna go up there and meet to shoot some pool. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go with you. He was like, no, you're not gonna want to go up there, and you don't need to be around men and stuff all the time like that. I always go with you when you shoot pool or go hang out with friends. Not always, but it's not abnormal for me to go somewhere with him. And I don't go a lot because I don't like to sit around men. But I'm like, okay, it's a nice day. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm going to just sit here and work. So I was sitting there working and I'm like, and the only reason I was going to work, I was just going to get my Monday started because this was a Sunday. So I was just going to get my Monday prepared. And I'm like, I'm about to go where he's at because it's nice. I'm not sitting in this house. So I get in the car and I call him. We have cameras. When I tell you I was under surveillance in this house, he knew everything I was doing, everybody I was talking to. He's going to say all day he didn't have any listening devices or nothing in the house. He did. Every conversation, he would come back and repeat things that I've said to people. And I'm like, how did you know that? Your friends tell me stuff. Your family tell people come back and they tell me everything. No, you have me under surveillance, sir. So I call him and he's like, I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm up at the pool hall that he was at, or the bar he was at, shooting pool with his friend. We'll just call him B. I'm shooting pool with B. And I'm like, okay. He said, what are you doing? About to go to Ross? My favorite store is Ross. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to go to Ross. I was really just going to go up there and surprise him. Like, I'm here. I get to the bar that he's supposed to be at, and there's no car there. So I drive around because it's really my first time being there. So I had my new phone and I had my old phone that had to be turned in. So the whole time I'm recording, I call him, like I'm on the phone with him, and I was like, oh, okay, so you're about to get, he's like, yeah, we're about to get ready to leave. There's nobody in here. It's dead. So we're about to go to this other restaurant. I think it was like $3 Cafe. We're about to go to $3 Cafe. So this is Motorhead's Bar and Grill where you told me you was gonna be at. It is what does clock say? So 6:37, 7:37, something like that. Hold on. Let me get the real time. Because I'm driving around this parking lot and I don't see your car anywhere. So where you at, homie? Where you at? Because something in my spirit tells me that you doing some shit you ain't got no business doing. So let me go find you real quick. But you ain't that. I'm like, okay. The whole time I'm on the phone recording, I go and stand in front of the bar. I record and I say on my video, I go look inside of the bar. I look in the parking lot. And in my video, I say, I'm on the phone with you, or I just got off the phone with you. You told me that you are at this bar. You are nowhere to be found. I'm only recording this because I know you're going to lie to me when I confront you about it. So I end up getting on the phone, calling my dad and telling my dad, I think Anthony. Anyways, I think he's lying to me. He's somewhere. He told me he's one place and he's not there. And I went, and my dad is a joker, so he was laughing. He said, oh, he about to get caught up. I never check behind this man. If he tells me he's going somewhere, I'm never coming back behind him. So I get to driving around the area and I go to that bar that's on the corner that I was saying that I wanted to go to earlier. And guess who's sitting at this bar? My husband is sitting at the bar. So I'm driving around trying to find a park. I see him. He must have seen my car. I see him get up. He's going to deny it every day. But there was a woman he came up to. He talked to. I think it's called sort of like an alley or a parkway or some way. He was just about to walk out and leave. But he stopped to talk to a lady. I don't know if he had anything going on with her. That's besides the point. So I'm driving around. As I'm driving around, he pulls up on the side of me and he says, what are you doing following me? I'm about to get ready to go to $3 Cafe. And I'm like, no, you're not. You told me you were at the other bar. Why? What are you telling a story for? I just seen you at the bar on the corner. You didn't see me there. Stop following up behind me. So he speeds off and I just go home. I wait home for 30 minutes and he shows up. Stick around for part 2.5. Let's call it that.
Seem like this ain't his first rodeo.
I can't wrap my head around when people look for something and then when they finally get what they're looking for, it's just like you get the satisfaction of knowing that you were right, but it's like if you're just gonna stay, why did you even put yourself through all of that? I don't know if it's just to give you a peace of mind that you're like, okay, well, at least I know that he's doing it. He's not doing it behind my back because I know that he's doing it. But it's still like, all you're doing is being detrimental to yourself. You're literally just playing with your own mind at this point.
Yeah, I feel like women in these situations, based off of the story times we've been reviewing, I feel like they just get into like survival mode. I could tell when she said that she was recording the video that she already had some type of animosity, or she even had a thought that he was out cheating, because why would I instantly, just assume to go check on you even though you told me that you was gonna be somewhere else if it's not in my normal behavior to do, because you're dealing with somebody that'll lie to your face.
So this is part 2. So I left off saying that he came home after me being there for 30 minutes. So after I was there for 30 minutes, he shows up at the house. He comes in all upset. Why are you following me around? And I was told you I was at Motorhead, but we left to go to $3 Cafe. I'm like, I was on the phone with you while you told me that you were at Motorhead and you were not there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold you. I did get in his face, but I did not put my hands on him. To this day, he can't remember anything that he did to me, but he remembers that I slapped him in his face. But he said it was soft. It wasn't hard. He shouldn't have tripped like that because it wasn't even a hard slap. I did not put my hands on him, but whatever. So we're going back and forth, and I'm just like, you know what? Forget it, whatever. I go in front of the couch, and he's behind the couch, going back and forth, pacing. I'm folding towels. No, actually, he left. He left for about 25 minutes, came back with a receipt and some chicken bones, talking about, I had to go back up there and pay my tab. I left because I was trying to see what you were doing. So he wanted to show me the receipt. This is what time I was up there. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to see the receipt. Whatever, keep it. So at this moment, I had calmed down. I was like, you know what? He on some bull. I don't have time for it. I started folding towels. The towels were on the couch. So I started folding towels. So he's constantly going off, talking about everything I've done in the past, talking about I've cheated, all this stuff. And he going off. I'm like, whatever. I don't got time. Like, you weren't where you say you was at. You was telling me a story. I'm folding towels. All of a sudden, he goes, that man spit in my face. So the people that comes on and says there's 2 sides to a story and what did you do and all of that, I don't give a damn what I did when I know I didn't do anything. But you don't spit in anyone's face. At that moment, I knew our marriage was done. That morning I woke up, that Sunday morning, I was in love with my husband. Like, that moment, I knew our marriage was done. So I stopped and I'm like, so I wiped my face off with one of the towels. And I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, how do you handle this? Because I'm in complete shock. I kind of blanked out for a minute. So there was some way we was tussling again on the couch. And this time I was fighting back. Like, I was fighting back. Fighting, like, basically because he had got, like, on top of me or something. I can't even remember that part. I just remember I had the bruises on my arms, scratches all on my neck and everything. So I'm just upset. I'm crying. I go into my office and I just try to calm down and I'm pissed off. So then he says, yeah, I know you've been cheating on me with all these men. And I know you've been with this person and doing this and doing that. I'm like, so you're going to justify why you weren't where you were at, but you just spit on me. I don't even care about nothing else right now. So I'm in there and he's like accusing me of messing around with these men. I was like, you don't even know what I really want. And this is what I'm saying out loud to him. I'm typing. And I said, I really want me, no one gets offended. I really want me a rich white man with money. When I said that, he stormed into my office and slapped me in my face and I went hitting the wall. I hit the wall. If you go to his house, the mark is still in the wall. At that point, my spirit was broken. I didn't want to have anything else to do with him. Nothing. I knew April of 2024, my marriage was over and I had to get out of it. So for his cousin who came on my post with all of his, there's two sides to a story and you're tired of hearing my story, or you sending me inboxes and talking about people are clapping for me and a man just want to clap my pants off. Your cousin spit on me. There's no reason to justify that. Make a 7-minute video about that and then come back and holler at me. Because would you want anybody spitting on your son, or would you want anybody spitting on your daughter? He spit on me and slapped me. So the next day I made a video. I'm not going to post that part, but I had a black eye, scratches on my neck. I had bruises on my leg, on my butt, on my arm. I knew it was over. That was the first time he put his hands on me. There was another incident in October where I caught the police. I want to make a video about that. And then there were 2 more times when he got violent with me. So his excuse was he had been drinking and he doesn't know what happened to him. This is every time that he has became violent with me. He's been drinking. And I will tell you something about him. I've been with him for 14 years. We have had drinks and went out and all of that. He's not a heavy drinker. So it's not like he's an alcoholic. So when all of this happened, I'm like, you need to get some help. You really need to get some help. I tried to contact his mom, his dad. Well, I didn't too much, not too much on his mom because of her health situation, and I don't want to talk about that, but I respect her too much. But I did contact her, his dad, his brother, his oldest daughter, to let them know he needs some help and he's not listening to me. He doesn't think anything is wrong. Somebody has to talk to him. I asked him, we need to go to counseling. We need to talk to somebody. He did not at that time think he had an issue. There is something wrong. He's not a heavy drinker. Something happened. I don't care. Me and him played Uno for shots and did all this stuff over the course of our relationship. He has never gotten violent with me. Something happened. I'm not making excuses, but I tried to get him some help and he wouldn't take it. So that's part 2.5. Come back for part 3 of what happened in October of 2024. This is part 3 of why I left my husband for 14 years after experiencing domestic violence. Part 2.5 took me out. I came and got into bed. I still had a lot of work to do today. Discussing it or talking about it today, it kind of set my emotions back, but I got to get this story out. And then once I get this story out, I am going to stop discussing it and I'm going to move forward. So from April of 2024, when he first hit me, there's something that went down in May. I am way too embarrassed to even discuss it, so I won't. But for the rest of the year, I went about my life without him. I knew I was done with the marriage. I knew I didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't want to tell anybody what happened. I did tell my group of friends, and they were ready for me to leave then. I'm sorry, I'm not editing, so if I stumble over my words, they're just going to be stumbled over. This is real and raw. I don't have any lights. I don't have any ring light, camera lights, because I'm in my room in the dark. This is how I feel right now. So, but, I I was so embarrassed by what happened because this is not me at all. So I didn't want to discuss it too much. So I kept going back and forth to Michigan to visit my family. I live in Georgia. I'm from Michigan. So I kept going back and forth to Michigan to visit my family the entire summer. I was literally in Michigan with my family. And he would call for me to come home. And I'm like, I'm going to come home eventually. I don't know when, but I was totally checked out of that marriage. I was done. It was so many different things that happened in between that time. I was just like exhausted. And whenever I go home, I feel like my family heals me. I have 4 sisters, a lot of cousins, very close to everyone on my mom and my dad's side. So I had to go where I could be healed. And that was with my family, and especially with my mom and dad. So when I got back, October came, and I'm a workaholic. I'm definitely a workaholic. So one day in October, we needed to go grocery shopping, and I had a card. I keep a tight budget, so I had a card that had like $500 on there. So I gave him the card. I said, "Can you go grocery shopping? I can't go with you," but he was better at grocery shopping than I was. I get anxiety going to the grocery store. So I asked him to go grocery shopping, and I was like, "It's $500 on this card. Go grocery shopping, and then we need to go get tissue, paper towel, and all that. I'll go do that with you later, but I needed to work on some stuff." This was a Saturday. I said, "I need to really work on some things, so I'm not going to be able to go." So I give him the card. He goes grocery shopping, brings the groceries back. I look at the bank account. He took $450 out of the $500 budgeted money for groceries and household needs and bought groceries. And there's 2 of us. So that made me really upset. Like, why did you do that? Put a pin in the groceries of $450. Put a pin in that because it's significant. So he ended up leaving and saying he was going to go play poker or do something. So I was just at the house working. I think my son came by. And all of a sudden I get a call from my brother-in-law. And he was like, "Candicejean, you need to be careful." And I'm like, "Why?" "Because my brother think you cheating on him." I was like, "Your brother do not think I'm cheating on him. If your brother thought I was cheating on him, trust me, he was going to tell me. He does not hold anything in." So I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, seriously." He came over here, me and him talked. He said, "You cheating on him. He thinks you're cheating on him." I said, "I'm not cheating on him." So I hang up with him, and I called my husband. Was like, "Why your brother call here saying that you think I'm cheating on you?" And he was like, "Oh no, he's just making up stuff. I never told him that. I never said anything about me, you cheating on me. I was talking to him about something totally different." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I told him it was a restaurant I wanted to try, and he was going to bring the food. It took him like 2 hours to bring me my food and all of this. So before he got home, I was basically setting a tone in the household. I shut down my work. It was Saturday, so college football was on. So I had turned college football on because I'm not a big football fan, but my mom always told me if you're in a relationship with someone and they have an interest in something, just try to take an interest in it as well. So, I started watching football with him, and I actually like it now. But at first I hated it. But now, like, I was like, okay, I'm getting the house ready. You're going to come in. I'm going to have the football game on. We're going to eat the food, sit here and drink some wine. And that's that. I go get wine and I put it in a plastic cup, like a hard plastic cup. I always drink wine in a wine glass. I don't know why this day I put it in a plastic cup, but I put it in a plastic cup. He comes in the house and we stand at the table. Like, we didn't sit down and eat. We were standing at the table tasting the food, and it wasn't the best. And I was talking about, like, no, this person made this wrong. And then I went to sit on the couch. And then he came and sat on the couch with me, and not in a comfortable way. And normally when we watch football, we had a sectional. He's on the longer part. I might be like on the couch, or we might, watching football. You're not all cuddled up. So he came like really close to me. So I'm looking, and he was like, "Let me ask you something." And I said, "Okay." Basically, he went in my iPad on a Wednesday night, a night that I was at church serving the children. Now notice, I told you every time I'm serving the children at church, we get into it about something. This particular Wednesday, I was at church. He went inside my iPad, looked at my iPad and seen a message between me and my cousin joking about this guy from my past that she seen. It's an inside joke that me, my cousin, and my friend have. It was an innocent joke. There was nothing inappropriate about it at all. But I got male perspective, and they said if they would have read it, they may have felt a way as well. But it was really like an inside joke. It wasn't anything saying I wanted to be with him, I missed him, anything. It was just like we joke about this guy. Because he always has the same compliment about me every time he sees my cousin or my friend. Like, where's my woman at? I messed up with her. And it's like, and I'm like, he don't want me. And it's just like, whatever. It was kind of a brush off thing. He took it upon my cousin was trying to hook me up with this man. My cousin was like so down for my husband. Like, that was her homie. Absolutely was not trying to hook me up with this man. At that time, he blew up. This is October. I'll be back for part 3.5.
Kind of just makes me want to know, like, what was the inside joke a little bit. I'm not justifying what happened after he figured out what the joke was, but I just want to know, like, what was the joke?
Yeah. And then she says too, like every time she goes to minister the children that he always, has something to say to her. And it's probably because he's going through her iPad every time she leaves. Right. She's probably wondering like, why is it every time I leave? But it's like, that's when he's going and doing the digging to find something to argue with you about.
But I think that's how you can find out if somebody's cheating on you, though. Not going through their phone, but if somebody's going through your phone randomly when they know you're not around, I think that's an admission of guilt. I feel like you're just trying to find something to make yourself feel better, but then you can't stomach what you find. You know what I'm saying? So I think, I don't know. That's just what I think. But what do you guys think about that?
So this is part 3.5. I had to get out of the bed and turn the light on to tell this part. This is the last part I'm going to tell tonight. Because I felt like the depression was trying to get on me, and I can't sit in that. You can't sit in depression like that. So this is part 3.5. The last part I was discussing how he came to sit on the couch with me after revealing to me that he had went in my iPad on a Wednesday. This was a Saturday. So my cousin was texting me. He was in my iPad as the text messages were coming through. Like I said, the text messages were really innocent. When he confronted me about them, I was like, it was just a joke. It was not like, the messages were so innocent. And he was like, no, she's trying to hook you up. She's trying to hook you up with me. I'm about to call her. I'm calling her. And I'm like, no, don't call her. Don't put anybody in the middle of this. Don't put anyone in our business. He's like, no, I'm calling her. Now, my cousin, just put this here, my cousin was supposed to come stay with us for a couple of months. She had put her notice into her apartment. She was going to come stay with us just for a couple of months until she could decide what area in Georgia she wanted to be in. We had 3 extra rooms. Come on, let's go. You can come on. He calls her and just cusses her out so bad. Calls her out of her name, all type of hoes and bees, and you trying to hook my wife up with people. And basically told her, you can't move in. You can't move in. You'll never step another foot in a day in my house. And my cousin was like, that's my cousin's house. Maybe I'm the breadwinner. Like, I'm paying all these bills. This is my house. This is my house. But to keep my cousin out of a bad situation, okay, you can't move in. So while after he got done cussing her out, the cup that I had the wine in, he took it and he threw it at me. He threw it at me and came in my face like he was about to punch me. And I told him, I said, you hit me tonight, you going to jail. Give me 1 second. I said, if you hit me tonight, you're going to jail. I'm calling the police. So he get it on my face and he's like, he's about to punch me. And I was like, I'm calling the police. And he hurries up. He runs out the house and he jumps in my car. Not his car, my car. Hey, he had the keys to his car. So I'm like, okay, so I call the police. I need an escort. I got to get my stuff. I get out of here. I call my son so my son could pick me up, because the only person's house that I had to go over was my son. So my son picked me up, but the police got there first, and the police was basically like, we can stay here while you get some stuff, but we can't stay a long time. And I was like, okay, if you need to leave, I just need to get my work stuff and some clothes. I said, if you need to leave, go ahead and leave. And then I will handle this when my son gets here. I'll have him be my escort. He's like, no, go ahead. I just know sometimes people try to pack up the entire bathroom and all of that. So I got my stuff out, went to my son's house. The next day, now I didn't have a car, because every time I leave, I left back in 2022, he wouldn't give me my car either. So I didn't have a car, so I went back the next day. I told my son, come over here and take me over to go get my car. When I went in the house, or before I got there, I looked on the camera and I seen that his friend had showed up. They had beer and all of this. Now, remember from part 3, I told you that he spent $450 in groceries. When I got home or got in the house, I see that he had all this food pulled out that he was about to grill. So they were about to drink and grill and do all of that. When I got there, his friend ended up leaving, but he left his beer and all of that. So he was coming back. So he was like, well, what's up? I said, I'm just coming to get some stuff and I want to get my car. He leaves in my car. So when he leaves in my car, I grab garbage bags, told my son and his girlfriend, come on, let's get up all this food up out of this house. I just paid $450 in groceries. Let's get the food out the house. So we go throughout the house, the refrigerator, the freezer, and the deep freezer, and get the food out the house. While we're getting the food out the house, he comes back and we're in the garage getting the food out the deep freezer. He's trying to stop us, and me and my son like, no, go on, get back, you know. So we get the food. He's like, forget it. Y'all take the food. We had already packed up the food in garbage bags and put them in my son's trunk already. So we were just at the end. So at this time, it was almost like he was trying to fight me and my son. I called the police again. This time when the police comes, he pulls off in my car. He hides the car and then he walks back to the house. When he gets back to the house, I asked the police, can you ask him, can I have my vehicle? The police talked to him, and I'm like, at this point, I am like visibly upset. I'm the one that called, and the police said, well, you called last night. What's going on? So he was very, very hostile with me, and basically saying that we lived in this nice neighborhood. I don't need to be acting like this. And I'm like, I just want my vehicle and to move on with my life. The police talks to him. He called, the police goes in the house with him. I'm still outside. I'm so upset. I don't know what he said to the police officers, but they came outside so upset with me. Like I said, I believe he had cameras. I know he had cameras in that house. He probably showed them the cameras of me taking the food, and it looks like I was being a hostile person, but I wasn't. I just wanted my food, and I wanted the car, and I wanted to go on, move on with my life. The police came out and said, well, he said he's not going to give you a vehicle, and we can't make him give you one. And you're renting in this nice neighborhood. I said, hold up, stop. We're not renting in this neighborhood. I'm a homeowner. And I said, I pay all the bills in this house. So this is my house. He said, well, he's not going to let you have a car. So it's best if you go ahead and leave and calm down right now. Make a long story short, I was this close to getting arrested. And my son and his girlfriend calmed me down, and I was so upset. So this is October. I'm sitting at my son's house. It's a 1-bedroom, and I'm like really uncomfortable. I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm just like, okay. He has a girlfriend. I'm like, I'm taking away for his privacy. So I stayed with my son for like 2 weeks. I end up going back home for like, I think it was like the end of October. I was going to buy me a car, but I had a conversation with an attorney, and she said, you don't want to continue to get marital property, because the more marital property you get, the more you have to divide. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to go get a car. So I didn't go get a car. I did go back home. But all of this time, I had in my head the plan of me getting out of this house. He told me he was going to go out of town, and I was going to go through my plan, but he never left. So I stayed at the house for a couple of more weeks, and then I ended up going to Michigan like the end of November, beginning of December, to be with my family from there on into Christmas. Stayed in Michigan for Christmas. He was begging me to come back because his birthday is New Year's Eve. I end up, okay, I'm going to come back. shouldn't have came back. I shouldn't have came back for him. I should have came back, but not because of his birthday. So my cousin drove me down from Michigan to Georgia, 13-hour trip, so I could be with him for his birthday. On his birthday, we sat down, we talked, we said we're not gonna bring up anything from the past. We got a little jar, we're not gonna cuss at each other, we're not gonna be negative. Whoever's negative, they're gonna have to put $5 in a jar. All this time in my head, I know I didn't want to be here, but I'm trying to play the get along game in order to figure out how am I going to move out of this house and get my stuff. So this was December 31st. We agreed. My birthday was January 26th. I had a whole weekend planned. By January the 25th, not even 30 days, he abused me again the day before my birthday. And that will be part 4. This is part 4 of why I left my husband for 14 years after domestic violence. I left off on the part where I came home for his birthday and we sat down and we talked about not discussing the past, being positive. We had a jar. If one of us was negative, the other person had to put money in the jar. I already knew that I didn't want to be in the marriage anymore, but I was so caught up into me working so hard for the things that we had. I was like, I'm not leaving here and he gets all of this stuff or waiting all this time, because I started a new job, but I took a major pay cut. And when I did talk to a divorce attorney, we were discussing it, and I was making at the time like almost 3 times more than him. So I was about to have to pay some money. I was like, no, I'm not willing. So I started another job I took a major pay cut, making less. And I'm just like, I just have to deal with the consequences. I'm going to ride this thing out until I don't have that income anymore. I'm not paying him nothing. So fast forward to my birthday weekend, making the plans for my birthday. I've never really had anyone else plan anything for me for my actual birthday. On my 40th birthday, because I turned 41 this year, my aunt passed away a week. One of my favorite aunts. Well, all my aunts are my favorite, but I was very close to her. And she passed away a week before my 40th birthday. So on my 40th birthday, her viewing was that day. And then the next day was her actual funeral. My sister and my mom, I love them down, love them so much, planned me a 40th birthday party. And since everybody in our family was there for her funeral, they were there for my birthday party. And I had an amazing time, but we were grieving at the same time. So I said for 41, I'm going to plan my 41st birthday. So I had a whole weekend planned. Thursday, I went and got my, my basic pedicure, manicure, all of that. Friday, I went to a head spa. If you ever go have an opportunity to go to a head spa, go to a head spa. That's something I wanted to do. Went to a head spa, got my hair done, and then I wanted to listen to live music. So my husband and I went to listen to live music that night. That Friday night. So Thursday, nails, Friday, head spa, hair, and then live music. I bought me an outfit or 2 for every day. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm about to celebrate my life, celebrate myself, because 2024 was terrible for me due to the fact that this man had put his hands on me, and it's just like my world was just shattered after that. I wasn't the same person. Saturday, I planned to have a brunch with my friends, just some of my friends and my cousins, and I planned all of this stuff myself. I did my own makeup, put lashes on. I bought me 2 outfits for the day. So I was going to have an outfit for the brunch that afternoon, and then we were going to go to a club, not a club. It's more of an adult bar. I don't know if you live in the Atlanta area. I don't know if you ever heard of Ellery's. I wanted to go to Ellery's. I'm like, I'm 41. I want to go hang with the real grown crowd where they're going to actually dance, because I love to dance. So I was going to hang with my friends earlier that day. And then me and him, we were going to go to Ellery's at like 9 p.m. because they don't open till 9. I was getting ready and I was gonna ride with one of my friends there, but to my birthday brunch, but I was taking too long, and I know she's big on time. So he dropped me off. He had to work that day. And he was like, "Oh, I'll drop you off. Don't worry about it." He came home. He had worked overtime. So he came home and he dropped me off to my birthday brunch. So I had an amazing time with my friends. Is exactly what I wanted. While we were at the brunch, my cousin was like, "It's still early. Let's go somewhere else." So part of the people that were there went home, and some people were gonna go to Ellery's, other people they just didn't, that was their day. And then some of us, we went out to continue to have a good time, have some drinks, just sit around and talk. We went to one spot, and on the way there I called him and I told him, well, we're going to, me and my cousin, the one that he told off, we are going to go to this spot just to have some drinks, and then I'm going to have her bring me home. I said, do you want to come pick me up? He said, oh no, I've been drinking too much, I'm not coming all that way. Go ahead and have her bring you home, it's fine. Okay. We get to the spot and the drinks were like $20 for a shot. I told my cousin, no, I'm not going to allow you to pay that amount of money for some alcohol. I'm sorry. So we went to another spot where she knows the owner. So she was like, we'll get drinks, we'll get food. It's your birthday. Like, they're going to take care of you. I'm like, okay, it's all good. Let's go. While we were leaving out, now I just had talked to him and told him we were at this spot. But it's like, soon as I got in the car and we started going down the street, he called me. Do you have tracking on me? How did you know that I left? Because I just talked to you. So on the phone, I was like, yeah, we're going to another spot, because this spot, they were charging way too much for the drinks. And it was just like a cool, laid back conversation. He was like, no, I'm on my way. I'm coming to pick you up. I'm 18 minutes away from you. And I was like, well, let me have my drinks first, eat my food, because I went to the brunch, but I really didn't eat my food. I didn't really like my food that much, but I want to enjoy my friends. So yeah, let me just get something to eat and have my drinks. No, you are on some BS. I don't know what BS you on, but I'm coming to pick you up. So be ready for me when I get there. And I'm like, what? I'm not on no BS. Like, we literally just talked. Yeah, and you leaving and you going somewhere again. At this point, I'm very confused. So we get to the spot and he's texting me the whole time. And I don't like to argue in public. I don't like people to know what's going on. So I'm trying to hold myself together. So I'm telling my cousin, I'm about to go and sit in the car. Can you give me your keys? Because he's going to come in here and I don't want him tripping on me in front of everybody. She was like, that's fine, but they're coming with your food, because I met the owners. They asked me what I wanted. I told them what I wanted. It was like, we're going to bring your food out to the table. So just me, my cousin, and one of her friends. So we're just sitting there and I'm like, I gotta go. So as I'm walking out, the security guard was like, because it was one of those spots. The security guard was like, let me walk you to your car. And he was in plain clothes. And I was like, yeah, because you hurry up, because I don't want my husband to see that you walking me to my car and he thinks there's something going on. He's already mad. So the security guard was like, I understand. He walked me to the car. I had the keys. I walked back in. About 5 minutes later, here comes my husband pulling up. And I was like, I have to take my cousin her keys. He was like, no, stay in the car. I'll take him to her. So he went in there. He took her the keys and came back. Oh, so you was out here trying to be a hoe. I was like, what? No. Yeah, she had all those men sitting at the table with her when I came in. I was like, there wasn't any men sitting at the table when I was in there. I said, I got up, I came to the car. No, you're trying to be a hoe. Oh no, you're not about to play me, and just started bringing up all this stuff about men from the past. Just, it was crazy. And I'm sitting in the car like, oh my God, it's about to happen again. And it went down. You can really tell how a man loves you by how they treat you on your birthday. Part 5, I'm gonna go deeper. But at that moment, I was like, I gotta get away. I'll be back.
What would cause a person to randomly just get enraged like that? Like, are we missing parts of the story? But it doesn't matter what she did. Even if he called her and she didn't pick up or something, and that's what sparked him to go this way, nothing justifies it at the end of the day. It's like, she's a grown woman. It's her birthday. You know who she's with. You've already vetted the woman she's with. You know she's not an issue because at one point you was going to allow her to live with you.
I think he didn't want her to live with him because what goes on in someone's home, you don't really know until you're living with them.
Yeah.
They can hide who they are, but when there's other people seeing the flaw in them, the same flaws that your spouse sees, then that's going to cause an issue.
He throws these temper tantrums whenever he feels like he's not getting his way. Instead of just having a conversation, he just gets super irrational. Like a kid. Are you just envious of your own woman?
And couldn't even keep it together for her birthday.
What do you guys think, Messy Family? Drop y'all thoughts in the comment section below.
This is part 5 of why I left my husband because of domestic violence after being with him for 14 years. So we get in the car and he just starts going off on me, cussing at me. And I'm like, what is going on with you? What is the problem? He dropped me off at my birthday brunch. So there was nothing wrong with you when you dropped me off. And you knew everything that I had planned. I talked to you every time I made a move. What is the problem? So basically in the car, he was just telling me that I was trying to be a hoe and I was being sneaky and I was up to no good. And then he started asking me stuff about like my ex-boyfriend. And I'm like, what does he have to do with anything? This is my ex-boyfriend back from like back in the day. And we still have a good relationship, but it's just like at this point, what does he have to do with my birthday? So he was like, yeah, I know you talked to him. Give me your phone. Give me your phone. So he's just in the car pulling my hair, and I had these long earrings on. So my hair is long, but I had these long earrings on to, go down with my hair. So he's pulling my hair, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you pulling my hair? Why are you doing this? So he's reaching to go grab my phone, and I'm like, no. And my clutch was, it was like a harder clutch. So I'm trying to fight him off at me. The clutch hit my chin and I get a big bruise on my chin. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, stop. No, like stop. And we're on the highway in Atlanta. Sir, you are going to unalive us. Calm down. And that's basically what he said. I'll unalive both of us in this car. And I'm like, Candace, calm down. But he's like pulling my hair, pushing my face, just like all this stuff. Like, why are you doing this to me? What's wrong with you? So we're getting closer home, and the only thing I can think in my head is get home safe, get home safe. Do what you got to do to get home safe. So when we get off the expressway, we're going just down a residential street, and we're at the stoplight. I see somebody at the stoplight. So as soon as I see people, I start banging on the window, help me, and trying to scream and get out the car. He's pulling me, trying to get me, and he's just speeding. So we get through our neighborhood, and we're going through our neighborhood, and I'm trying to jump out the car. And every time I try to jump out the car, he speeds off faster. I'm like, this man is about to hurt me or unalive me. So I'm like, I'm going to stay in the car. So I stayed in the car. We put up in our driveway. Our driveway is really long. So as he's pulling up in the driveway, I'm opening up the car to run out the car. He pulls me back, pulls off, and keeps going, speeding around the neighborhood, speeding around, like going everywhere. And I'm like, what? Will you stop? No, you not about to play me. You out here being a hoe, and you trying to be out here with your ex-boyfriend. I'm like, you guys, I live in Georgia. My ex-boyfriend lives in Michigan. I didn't even see him for my birthday. I'm like, what? I'm like, why are we talking about him? Like, what are you tripping off of? Like, you really need to stop. Like, what is going on? So he finally pulls up to the house. And when he pulls up to our house, I run out the car, and I run in the house, and I start locking all the doors. But of course he has all his keys on him. So he gets in the house. when he gets in the house, he's just on a full rampage in the house and cussing me out and getting in my face and all of that. So I had my dress that I was going to change into that evening hanging up. He goes in my closet and pulls down the dress that I was going to wear. And I'm like, I know this man is not serious. And I have to tell the truth of what I did. It may incriminate my character. But when he walked away, his locks are very long. They're very long, longer than my braids. Probably longer than my braids or long as my braids. When he turned around, I pulled him by his locks and I dragged him from our bedroom all the way to the bathroom. I completely blacked out. My friend said, don't tell anybody I did that, but I did. I dragged him. And then I stumped him. And then I uppercutted him. It was self-defense at that point. It was self-defense. And I knew in that moment with me fighting back that might be it for me. This may be the end. But I couldn't take it no more. I couldn't take all the cussing me out and pulling my hair and pushing me in my face. And I got bruises on my face. So when I finally let him go, he went absolutely crazy on me. I was punched in my leg. I had a bruise about that big on my leg after he got done punching me in my leg, punching me in my ribs, punched me all in my arm. And I was in the bathtub at this point and I was trying to protect my body. So my entire body was being punched. He wasn't hitting me by my face. He was punching me here, punching me here, punching me on my leg. My leg is still, that was January. My leg is still sensitive on that side. So I run out the bathroom when he stops and I sit on the couch and I start crying what is this? And I'm crying and he's like, I'm going to call your dad, your mom and dad. He always tries to call my parents whenever something happens. And I'm like, no, don't call my dad. Don't call my mom. My parents are in their 70s. Why are you going to call them and bother them with this? I'm going to call Shell. I'm call who? So Shell is my older sister. My older sister. And if you know anything about an older sister, she does not play about her siblings. My older sister has 4 younger sisters. So it's 5 of us. She is responsible for 4 other people. And when I tell you she takes her job very serious, she takes it serious. I said, you want to call Shell? Okay, I call Shell. Now, if you see my sister, if you go back on my videos, we went to Disney for her birthday. Sweetest, sweet. I don't care. Sweet. Don't even think she cusses. I didn't even know she cussed. I didn't know. I've been knowing her all my life. My sister is 54 years old. I'm 41. That lets you know how, the difference in our age. But we're very, very close. My sister was my absolute saving grace in that moment. And she is the reason why I am in this room and away from that man today. I called my sister and I told her what happened. And she said, FaceTime me. And I called her and I was crying. And she said, put me on speaker now. My sister cussed this man out for an hour straight without taking a breath. My sister's in Michigan now. She can't get any close to me. But she said if I hung up that phone, she was calling the police. She was like, I'm calling the police. She called him all type of BANs. Look up what BAN is if you don't know what it is. She called him all type of broke BANs. My sister doesn't cuss. She said the next day she had to go to the church. She had to go to church for prayer. That's how bad it was. My sister said, go in the bathroom, wash your face, comb your hair, put your makeup on, put that dress on, and you call you an Uber to take you out to the bar that you want to go to for your birthday. And you celebrate your birthday. You don't let anybody do that to you on your birthday. But when I tell you she let that man have it, He went into bed, took his clothes off, a brave soul, and went to bed. And that was the day before my birthday. I spent my entire birthday alone the next day, January 26th. Lunch and at the aquarium alone. And that's now how I plan to spend my birthday. So that was January, how he ruined my birthday. My next videos will discuss April and my plan and when I left. Stay tuned for part 6. Part 6 of why I left my husband of 14 years due to domestic violence. So, in part 5, I discussed the incident of how he ruined my birthday. That was in January. In February, around Valentine's Day, my best friend had surgery. And I had already knew prior to my birthday that I was going to come to the hospital for a day and then take care of her for like 1 or 2 days and go home. So on Valentine's Day, or the day before that Valentine's Day, I told him that I was going to be with her. Basically, like through maybe a text message, because we weren't talking like that at all. I was done, but I was still in the house trying to figure out my next move. So from Valentine's Day on down to the end of March, to the beginning of March, I was with my best friend taking care of her. So I was at her house. I ended up going, I had another friend that had breast cancer. She rung the bell. She's a survivor. But I had another friend that had breast cancer. So I went to Milwaukee and I was with her for a week. Then after that, my little sister's 23rd birthday came up. I have a little sister that's 23. My little sister's 23rd birthday came up. March the 8th, I flew from Chicago to Michigan because I went to Milwaukee and then I went to Chicago to fly back to Michigan. And I was in Michigan with my family from March all the way until like the beginning of April. The whole time I was gone, he was calling, texting, asking me to come home when I'm coming home. He misses me. Daddy misses you. Just all this stuff. I'm like, you are not my daddy, but whatever. In my head, I'm trying to find an exit strategy still. Talking to my family about it, getting healing. Because like I said, I get healing from being with my family. They just make things so much better. So I was able to think clear. I ended up going home like the first week of April, and I went home and I was like very sick. I was like coughing, very lethargic. I just was wiped out. And on my way home, I did not let him know I was on my way home. So I flew in, caught an Uber to the house, and I walked in. And he was sitting on a chair in the living room watching TV. And when I walked in, he was like, oh my God, my baby, I miss you so much. And he grabbed me and he started holding me and hugging me. And I'm just like, it was just like he just couldn't live without me. So I was sick. Now, prior to me leaving, this man would not leave our master bedroom. Every time we would get in an argument, he would never leave the master bedroom. He would stay in there. He would say stuff like, I use the bathroom a lot at night, so I need to be closer to the bathroom, which we had another room on the other side of the house that had a bathroom right across, and it's just me and you. So you can just get up in the middle of the night, however you get up. Nobody's going to see you and go to the bathroom. No. So that left me to either sleep on the couch or the room downstairs or the room upstairs. So we had 3 empty rooms. And he wouldn't go to any of the empty rooms. It was like, no, I'm not leaving my room. So with that, I came in sick. He was like, go get in your bed. You haven't slept in your bed so long. I hadn't slept in that bed since January. This was April. He was like, go get in your bed, sleep in your bed, and I'm not going to come in there and I'm not going to bother you. So I'm in there sick. He's bringing me orange juice and bringing me food and all of this and just letting me sleep in medicine. I'm wiped out. I don't know, and I don't care what's going on right now. The next day, I'm still sick and I'm just up in the room just watching TV. So he was like, can I come watch TV with you? So I did. I let him come in. I'm like, whatever. At first I was like, no, I want you in here with me. Like, let me rest. And then he came back and asked again after he brought me some lunch. And I was like, sure, go ahead. So we started watching the series. Doing things like that gives people false hope. I think with that, he thought it was still me and him. No, sir. I don't want to have anything to do with you. So I end up getting better, and the next weekend, my friend wanted to go to the Atlanta Beltline. Let's go for a walk on Atlanta Beltline. Let's go to some restaurants. Let's go have some wine. Let's go to Atlantic Station. We had like this whole day planned. So we started early, drove my car. I'm telling you all this. Put a pin in this stuff. I drove my car to her house. We had this amazing day. Just me and her. You can go on to my videos and said, I may have needed a hug, but I did a day with my best friend. I have like on a blue tank top. Go and watch that video and you will see like how much fun that we had that day. Her birthday is January 26th too. We have the same birthday. Shout out to her. And then, so we had this amazing day, but we had been drinking wine and I was exhausted. We caught a lift back to her house. And I was like, well, since I've been drinking, this is my same friend that I was taking care of in February. I said, since I've been drinking, I'm just going to go in my room. I used to call my room at her house. I'm just going to go in my room and go to sleep for like 3 or 4 hours. And then I'm going to drive home. I said, I'm not drinking with this alcohol on me like this. So I go and I get in the bed. I'm in the bed and he calls my phone. And he calls me and say, what are you doing? I said, I'm over, my friend's house, but I'm about to go to sleep because I've been drinking and I'm tired. No, you need to come home and you need to come home right now. And I'm like, no, I'm about to get me some sleep. Now, mind you, it's only been a week. I came home on the prior Saturday. It's Saturday. It has only been a week since I've been home. Put a pin in that. I'm like, no, I am about to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up in the morning, drive my car home, and get ready for church and go to church. Because I don't care how much I hang out, I still got to go to church. Your mama used to do that to you. I'm going to church. So he like, no, I'm on my way to pick you up. You coming home. I'm like, no, I'm not coming home. Well, I'm on my way. So I don't like stuff to come to other people's houses. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have to call the police over her house, so I'm just going to go home. I don't want any drama at my friend's house. This is not her. This is not what she does. So let me just get in the car, go home. I'll come back and get my car in the morning. Why I get in that car with that man and he clowned on me so bad. I'm in the car like, you cannot be freaking serious with me right now. We're in the car. We're arguing. He has accused me of being with my friend in that way. He has accused me of wanting to be with my friend and her boyfriend in that way. I'm like, what? I know what y'all got going on. You don't know what we got going on, sir. I was asleep. I don't look at either one of them like that, and I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? So we're in the car, and he is just saying all type of stuff. We get in the house. My phone rings because one of her friends were hanging out with us. He wanted to know. Now, this is someone she worked with, or he was like a client or something back in the day. He wanted to know, were we in the house safely? Innocent. This man seen my phone ringing and he went off. Give me your phone and all of this. And I'm like, stop grabbing me. What are you doing? Leave me alone. Stop grabbing on me. And it went down again. Stay with me for part 7. Stay to the end of this video. I'll let you listen because my phone just happened to pick up. What happened? Stick around. Give me my phone.
I'm finna open it up. You might forget about it.
What are you doing?
You better tell me what's in it.
It ain't shit in it. Give me my fucking phone.
You tell me what's in it. I'll give it to you right now.
What are you doing?
I give it to you.
I swear.
I swear I give it to you.
Give me my shit.
I would hand it over to you. I know the passcode already.
Anthony, give me my stuff. Why are you acting like this?
What's in here?
Don't take my phone.
I'm not gonna take it.
So this is part 7 of why I left my husband of 14 years because of domestic violence. So on part 6, I stopped off and I had a video where my phone just started recording. I don't know how, but I just put a snippet. It was actually a 14-minute video. And there's some things that happened that night to me during that encounter I won't even discuss because I have to have, it's just too fresh. It's way too fresh. But I will say he did take my phone and he had my phone for like 2 hours. So he texted my friend instead of not from my phone but from his phone and said that we made it home safe. And in that moment, I really wish she would have just caught my phone, but she was tired. She had just had surgery this year, and her body was tired. She was tired, so I can't say, she was wrong for not calling me because that wasn't at all. And she was really asleep when I left. But I just wished in that moment somebody would have called my phone. So I have a work phone. I tried to get away from him, so I was trying to use my work phone to call somebody, call 911. He was like grabbing me every single time I would try to grab stuff. I tried to run out the door. I couldn't run out the door. Like, he would grab me every time I would run out the door. It was one point where my clothes were off of me and I still was trying to run out the house. I said, I don't care. In the neighborhood we lived in, it's a senior community, almost like a retirement community. Although it's that, they couldn't really discriminate of anyone else buying homes in that area. So we were like one of the younger couples in the neighborhood. So my neighbors, they're not outside like that, but I'm like, their cameras, at least something will pick up and see tomorrow or something. But I tried to run back. I tried to run outside. I ended up able to put some clothes on. I put some clothes on, and some way he dropped his phone. And when he dropped his phone, that's when he panicked. Looking for his phone, I was able to run out the house. But when I was leaving the house, I noticed his phone was on the ground right in front of the front door. So I took his phone and I put it under the mat. And I left. I was walking around the neighborhood, and I had no phone myself to call anybody to do anything. It was going to be a long walk. I didn't want to knock on any of my neighbors' doors. It was like some way, like I have to have some dignity about myself, because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, my neighbors are like in their 70s and their 80s. So he gets in the car and he follows me around the neighborhood, and he's like, you see my phone? You see my phone? I'm like, no, I did not see your phone. I did not. So I ended up going in the house and going back home, and I went in the house and he gave me my phone back, because he was like, give me my phone back. I'm gonna give you your phone, you give me my phone. He ended up, I don't know how he ended up finding his phone, but that was the end of that. But I said, Lord, if you get me out of this house and get me out of this situation this time, I am gone for good. So it was a Saturday night it happened, but it went into Sunday morning, because of course it's 1 o'clock in the morning. All day Sunday, I didn't go to church. I just laid in the bed. And just laid in the bed and was just praying, like, I have to figure out a way to get out of here. He comes to me, he tells me he's sorry, he was drunk, he doesn't even remember what happened. I'm like, you've told me this 4 times. We can't keep having this same conversation that you were drunk. So that means you made a choice to drink alcohol again and it took over you. There's nothing I can do. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm not doing this anymore. And it was a lot of begging and a lot of crying. And then it was like, oh, you think you're the only woman in the world? You're not the only woman in the world. Okay, that's fine. Go to that woman. Go to her. Monday came and I seen a article. Not an article. I seen a video about a couple that does like live streams and YouTube videos, and they were together for like 20 years, and basically everybody said they had like this amazing relationship, but he unalived her and unalived himself, and her family couldn't understand, the children couldn't understand, no one could understand why this happened, because they were like this perfect couple. And if you know, my husband and I post on other social media platforms like for years about our relationship, like us doing fun things together, him watching the football games, just so people will say like, you all have such a good relationship and couple goals. I hate that. No. And we did have an issue in 2022, and then that's when people found out, oh, they're not perfect. They don't have a perfect relationship. That's a whole different issue of how he embarrassed me at my class reunion, my 20th class reunion in my hometown that I play in. So I was like, I listened to this story. I said, I don't want that to be my story. I don't want this man to drink again one day and do something and he doesn't remember, and that is it for me. So Monday, I started coming up with a plan. I gotta get out of here. We were arguing all that week. And Tuesday came, and I called one of my friends, and I was sitting on the phone in the car. And he comes home and pulls up behind me. And it's basically like, who are you on the phone with? I hear you on the phone with the man. Who are you talking to? He's literally at work looking at the cameras of me at home in my car on the phone, because I stopped talking on the phone in the house. I was like, nope, I'm going to go. I'm going to sit in my car. I was trying to come up with a plan. We get in the house, and his son is there, and one of my other cousin was there. And so I called my mom, and I'm like, Mama, stay on the phone with me. He's following me around the house. And at that moment, I was like, this is it. It's time to go. My next video, I'm going to discuss with you my plan, how I got through it, and how I finally got out of that house. That's part 8. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, I don't blame her at this point. I mean, in my opinion, she should have probably been gone. But I understand when you're a victim in these situations that she didn't have the right resources. And I understand that she said that she was the breadwinner, but obviously all the money was tied into that house and into those cars. It was already absorbed, I'm assuming. So maybe that's why she stuck around longer than she should. One thing I'm starting to realize is that when you get to a certain age, like, they're grown now. Ain't no teaching no grown man nothing different. You know, if he's stuck in this mentality and every time he does it, it's more like, it's an excuse behind it. It's no teaching a grown, it's what they say, what's the saying? Like, you can't teach a old dog new tricks. That really do apply in today's world. Like, you can't teach this man to be a better man. So I don't know if she was just going around because maybe she felt like he would change, or if it's just more survival. I don't know, but I'm happy it's getting to the point that she's actually like getting out of it.
The divorce is definitely going to be lengthy with someone like this.
Yeah.
So even if she was to leave him for the house, to get the house, it would probably take some years in court to try to get it. The cars too. So yeah. I'm interested to see what she did to get out of this.
He called my parents and basically was talking about today that I've been discussing him on social media and asking me to stop. Respectfully, I am grown and this is my story. I'm the one that went through this. So
I'm not going to start. I'm not going to stop. I spoke with him today, and the only thing he can continue to tell me is I cheated on him and I was talking to all these different men, but he couldn't remember what he did to me the last couple of times he put his hands on me. His thing is, well, I didn't slap you or punch you. I was just grabbing on you. But what about that other thing that you did to me that I won't repeat? Because like I said, I need some dignity about myself. I don't want to hurt myself right now. So I'm not going to repeat it, but you know what you did to me. But anyways, this is part 8. Since we want to go here with me today. So on Monday, I was praying and I said, Lord, I need to do something drastic. I have to get out of this marriage. I got to get out of this house. This can't be life. This can't be life, and this is not going to be my life. So I got up, I called my job, I called my supervisor, and I told her, I need to step away from my desk right now. I haven't told you all, but I've been going through domestic violence since last year, and I need to get away. I need to go find me a place. She told me to go ahead and do what I needed to do, take all the time that I needed, and go look for me an apartment. So that's what I did. I went to 2 places. One place didn't have any units, and in another place they had something available. I went and reviewed it, looked at it. The girl gave me the information how to apply. I used to work for an apartment complex, so I know everything that needs to be done. I got the paperwork, but I didn't submit it. I was still at home like, okay, what am I going to do? Because it was just a lot to think about me leaving. I'm going to pack up my clothes. I'm going to get him an apartment. I'm going to buy new furniture. I'm going to start over 100%. I'm going to let him have this stuff in this house. But then something happened. He told me he was going out of town to visit his family from Thursday to Sunday. You're doing what? So at this point, the plan that I had back in October, where I was going to pull up a U-Haul and take some of the items out and then put them in storage and just live with my son for a little while or move back to Michigan, my plan started formulating. So I got real quiet. Okay. Like nothing bothered me. Like everything was okay. Tuesday came, I left out the house and I stopped talking in the house. So I was talking to my mom on the phone, and then I called one of my friends, and I was talking to one of my friends on the phone. I left the house and got in a car, and I was just driving and parked in a place in the neighborhood so I can talk without being heard, and I could be free to talk. Pulled back up in the driveway, and I was still on the phone. I was sitting there for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, he pulls up behind me, gets in the car, and says, "Who was that dude you was on the phone with?" I'm like, I wasn't on the phone with a dude. I heard you on the cameras. So this guy at work, the job that he needs to be working to help pay some of these bills around the house, he was at work and seeing me pull up and sitting in the car. He said, "Candace, you've been outside for like 30 minutes sitting in the car talking. Why aren't you at work? You are so worried about what I'm doing. You can't even create a life and have livelihood because you are so obsessed that I'm cheating on you. But you don't care about any of that stuff as far as you putting your hands on me. Because you were drunk. So that needs to be excused because I was drunk, but you cheating. But you can't remember what you did to me. But you can remember every single thing I ever did in this relationship. Down to an innocent text message." So I'm like, okay. It was a lot of back and forth. So I go in the house and I call my mom. I said, "Mom, stay on the phone with me. He's following me." So my mom says on the phone, I said, "Mama, okay, I'm going to give the phone to Pooh." Pooh is my cousin that was living. She was just staying with us until her apartment was ready. She was waiting on a new apartment. I'm going to give the phone to Pooh. And then if I'm not down, if I don't call you back in 10 minutes, call her. I took the phone upstairs to my cousin. I said, "Anthony, it's bothering me. I need you to listen out and just take my phone and take my purse," because he's always taking my things, my phone, my purse, my keys, whenever we get into it. So I gave her my purse and my phone. I go in the room where my stepson was at, and I said, stay in the room with me. I didn't want to put him in it, but he had already knew because my son told him, your dad has been putting his hands on me. I need you to stay in this room with me. Don't leave me. So we were acting like we were basically cleaning off the closet. He told his son earlier that day to clean out the closet. And I was like, oh, we're doing something. He's like, I told him to clean that closet out earlier. I said, no, I had him helping me with something. He is cleaning it out, but I need him to do something else in the closet for me. But he's thinking that I'm packing up my winter clothes for summer. I'm actually packing in this man's face. My plan is coming. So Tuesday, we got in this big argument in front of my cousin and his son. And there were some things said that I wish wasn't said in front of either one of them, but I had to let it out. I said, you know what? I'm just going to get my stuff and I'm going to move out. He said, what stuff? What you taking out of here? What stuff you think you taking up out of here? Somebody told me, one of your friends told me you want my house. I was like, who are you talking about? Every single time we get into it, he tells me one of my friends or his family member has told him a secret about me. Sir, you got cameras and recorders in this house. You don't want me to tell what was found in my son's room when he lived with us. Don't play with me. So I'm like, none of my friends or my family members know anything about me wanting to keep this house. I don't want your house, sir. Keep it. I just want to get out of here. I don't want you, and I don't want this marriage anymore. So he basically saying, you know, I've talked down to him as a man and all of this stuff that I did in the past. I said, sir, you have not been a good husband to me. Okay, yeah, you raised my son. It's a package deal. When you're married to somebody with children, it's a package. You can't get the wife without the child. You can't get the husband without the child. I've been there for you and your children as well. Children. I have one child. You have children. And I'm not going to say on this video how many you have. And I have loved them and I've been there for the majority except 2 that I have never met before. Everybody else, I've been there. And even with me helping you pay bills, with you having child support, with me paying bills, I've helped you survive. So yeah, you raised my son. You were in the house with him. But financially, I was the one that took care of him financially. You got to do something. You think I'm going to just be in the house and paying all the bills, cooking, cleaning, and doing other wifely things? No, you need to take him to school. You need to cook and clean. You're going to have to do something if you're not paying bills. Why are you so entitled? So we get into this argument and I say, fine, whatever. You're leaving anyways on Thursday. It's time for me to go. Stick around for part 9 and that'll let you know for real how I left. Since you're smarter than me and you're 900 times smarter than me and all of my family, baby, you were outsmarted this time. Part 9 of why I left my husband of 14 years due to domestic violence. But before I start with my story, I want to say I woke up this morning and I had 10,000 followers. Thank you to my supporters, my real supporters. And thank you to the people that just wanted to listen to the story time. I started off telling this story or making these videos. I had 1,500 followers. My intentions was not to grow my platform or grow a platform based off of hurt and pain. I was just being obedient to God. He told me to go to the beach and I went to the beach and I pressed record and I just said, I left. I didn't know what I was about to talk about. I was just walking. I uploaded the video. It's 2 parts to it. I uploaded it incorrectly. I was like, let me just upload it. I did it wrong. But I was being obedient. So maybe these videos are to help someone else, to free someone else, because you don't have to deal with domestic violence. You can get out of it. Find some resources, find a support system, but get out of it. Get those kids out of it, because they do not deserve to see their mother unhappy. They do not deserve to see their mother with bruises on her face, crying, scared. So figure it out. I don't have the resources. I don't know. I'm just starting to go through this. But I am going to take it upon myself to find out who I need to connect to help other people that's in domestic violence situations. If I do help, all I'm asking is to be true and honest and don't take advantage of people. Because it's really people out here that need to leave. So I thank you. Another thing is I'm a protector. I'm going to protect and take up for the people that I love. I used to take up for my husband so many times. I would never try to do anything intentionally to humiliate him or to hurt him. Like I said, he was my best friend. Was I his best friend? I don't know. But I love that man to my core. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't. I did. That's why people say, well, why were you paying the bills? Why were you doing that? Because I had that man's back. He took advantage of that. He took advantage of me having his back. When he lost his job one time and things went another way for him, I sat there and I said, don't worry. I got you. I got your back. I regret the day I said that. When I went to travel for work and I needed him to hold it down at home and take care of my son, I told him, if you take care of Jalen, I got you. I got us. I got us. And I did exactly what I said. But my son was 13 years old. He will be 21 in a couple of months. I don't have to keep taking care of you for the rest of your life because you helped me with him. I made sure you were good. I made sure. I said, if we move in a different neighborhood, I want to live in a different area, I will pay more on the rent. Because at the time we were renting. I will pay more on the rent so we can live in a better neighborhood. Because I knew I was making more. I was taking full advantage of. And he will admit, you started making all that money. Why you didn't do this? Why I didn't hold you accountable? But when I told you I needed help, when I wanted to go in a different direction in my career, you wouldn't even do what was necessary for us to survive. You let me be out there and drain my savings account, basically, while you was out here bragging about you can get any woman you want, because I'm not the only woman in the world, and you such a fine... I've taken up for this man and I have protected him from his dad, his brothers, his children, his children's mother, stuff I should have stayed out of. But I was the type of person that, you ain't gonna talk about my husband. And people know. People know. I even went up against my own son at times, a person that I was supposed to protect. I didn't protect him from you. Yeah, you say you loved him, but y'all bond should have been way better than what it is if you lived in the house with him. You said, oh, you got in the middle of it. I got in the middle of it, not letting you treat him any type of way. So yeah. Now when my son was wrong, I would check him and let him know he was wrong. But you were not right. There was things you did, you were not right. You treated your children way different than you treated my child. But I'm supposed to be speaking on part 9. So he told me he was leaving and going out of town. So the wheels started spinning. Okay, I had a plan in October, but he didn't go out of town. So this time I was like, okay. Tuesday morning, I got up. I called my supervisor. I said, I have to be away from my desk for a while. I went and looked for me an apartment. Went to one place and they didn't have any units. Went to another one. She gave me the information. I was like, okay, smooth. Seeing the unit. Okay, I'm going to do this. I didn't apply on Tuesday though. I was like, you know what? I don't even know if this is the right thing to do because I worked hard for this house and this stuff. Like, but material things don't matter. My life matters. Wednesday come and I leave because I stopped talking in the house because he had cameras and surveillance and stuff in our house to hear my conversation, because he would repeat sometimes things that I didn't tell anyone. I may have told one person, but he'll come back and say, your friends is talking about you. Your family is talking about you. They coming back and telling me everything. No, they're not coming back and telling you nothing. You got cameras in the house, sir. You have cameras. I never found where they were, but you had them before. So I knew you had cameras in the house. You heard everything I said. So I went out and I got on the phone. I called my mom and I called one of my friends. And I was just telling them about what was going on, what happened to me Sunday morning or Saturday night, what he did to me. I'm like, I gotta go. I pull up in a parking lot in my driveway and I'm sitting there for about 20-25 minutes on the phone. All of a sudden, he pulls up behind me. He's supposed to be at work. You're supposed to be at work, sir. Why are you pulling up behind me? He pulls up behind me. I hang up the phone and call my mom. Mama, stay on the phone with me. He just pulled up. He pulls up, he gets in the car with me and say, who is you talking to on the phone? I'm like, what? He said, you've been gone home for about 45 minutes. I looked on the camera. I seen you been gone. Where you been and who you been on the phone with? I can't even leave the house. I can't even sit in the driveway in the car. You know how many people pull up in their driveway and they sit in the car before they go home? I couldn't even do that. Anytime I would do that, he'll be walking out the door, looking out the window like, when you coming in the house, who you on the phone with? Sometimes people just need to decompress. I couldn't do that. Ever. Even before the violence started, I never could do that. And I'm like, nobody. So I go in the house and my cousin, Pooh, is there. I told Mama, I said, Mama, I'm going to take my phone because I didn't want him to take my phone again. I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to take my purse upstairs to Pooh. Call me back in 10 minutes if you don't hear from me. I went in the room where my stepson was at. He was cleaning out his closet. And my winter clothes, my summer clothes was stored in his closet because he's only there like every other weekend. My summer clothes was stored in there. So I started like pulling out my summer stuff. I told my stepson, I said, do not leave this room. Don't leave me. He said, what? I said, please do not leave this room. Do not leave me. I didn't want to tell him, but I said, your dad puts his hands on me. Don't leave me by myself. So we get in this argument, and I probably said it in the other video. We got in this big old argument on that Wednesday. I said, you know what? This is enough. I applied for my apartment, and my plan came together. Stick around for part 10. That'll be the last part. Part 10 of why I left my husband of 14 years due to domestic violence. So Wednesday, I went ahead and applied for the apartment. I started slowly and quietly packing. I was basically acting like I was taking my summer clothes and pulling them out and packing up my winter clothes. But honestly, I was just putting the summer clothes on the bed and waiting for a good opportunity for me to actually leave and pack for real. So I secretly went out and bought boxes. I sent a text message to my friends and I told them what happened. So one thing I do and is wrong, I isolate myself from people when I'm going through things out of embarrassment. And sometimes I just like to deal with stuff myself. I have friends that are married. I felt like I don't want to bleed on other couples or bleed on other people. I actually celebrate marriage. A happy, healthy marriage, I celebrate it all day. I don't necessarily man bash. I'll listen to what you're going through, but I'm not gonna bash marriage because I respect the union. So I text them and I let them know what was going on, that he had put his hands on me again, because they knew about one time, but they didn't know about all the other issues that we were having, like my birthday. They didn't know what happened on my birthday. I ended up telling them, and I said, if anybody is available, if you could come by and help me pack or help me move, I'm moving on Saturday. I ended up texting one of my cousins, letting him know I'm moving on Saturday. I need your help. He was an hour away. He said, okay, cuz I'll be there. Another young man that goes to my church, goes to my church. I used to be part of the teen ministry at my church, but he's in his 20s now. He was contacted by one of my friends. He said he was coming. So I got my support system. Here we go. I'm moving on Saturday. I hadn't even been approved for the apartment yet. End up getting approved for the apartment Thursday evening. Okay, boom. I went ahead and scheduled me a U-Haul to be picked up Saturday at 11 o'clock. Because I knew if he was going out of town, it was going to take him a long time to get back to me. He was going 8 hours away. It was going to take you some time to get to me. Thursday night comes and I feel myself spiraling. I feel myself like I'm about to have a complete mental breakdown because I'm trying to secretly pack and I'm looking around at the house and I'm like, I'm really about to leave. I am really about to leave this time for real. And I called my mom and I just broke down and I started crying and I'm like, I gotta do something. Like I'm about to have a mental breakdown and I'm here by myself. And she said, put your clothes on, contact your Uber or Lyft and go to your friend's house. Go to your best friend's house. So I'm walking in circles. I can't find any pants. I'm in a room full of clothes, y'all. A room full of clothes. But I'm saying, this is how I know I'm losing it. I'm about to lose it. I'm like, Mama, you might need to call the ambulance. Somebody might have to pick me up. I'm about to lose my mind in here. When I tell you a complete mental breakdown. So I end up catching a lift to my friend's house. This was Thursday night. He calls me and wants to know where I'm at. I'm like, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I know exactly where you are. I already know where you at. Of course you know where I'm at. You got cameras and you can hear things in the house. So I'm like, okay. I go to my friend's house. I fall asleep. The next day, I wake up. I got a secret birdie told me that he was on the highway. Friday morning. He's on the highway. I call my Lyft. I get in the house. And I pull my boxes out and I start packing up everything in the house, packing up the kitchen, packing up clothes, looking in my mind, what furniture I'm going to take out of this house, because I knew if I left that house, I wasn't getting a thing. He already told me he wasn't letting me take anything out that house. I even know from his first marriage, he called the police and they escorted her off the property. I don't know what part of it's true, but I knew that he wasn't going to let me get out of this house with anything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm about to take my half. I paid for all of this stuff, but since Georgia is a marital property state and I got to give him half, oh, you're going to get half. But you're going to get half of the BS. So I took a table. I left him a table. I took the sectional. I split it in half. I took the long part of the sectional. I gave him the short part of the sectional. We had 6 TVs in the house, and one was a 75-inch TV my mama bought me for Christmas. Pull it down. Took the big TV upstairs, took the TV out of my office. I left him a small TV in the bathroom, and his son's TV, and a TV in the bedroom. I had this big, beautiful bedroom set my parents bought me for. Well, I bought part of it and they helped me with part of it. It was too big, king size bed. Okay, we're going to leave that. But if we got 6 beds in the house, what was it? 1, 2, 3. I took 3 beds. No, we had 4 beds in the house. I took 2 beds. I left him 2 beds. I didn't even take the nice bed. I went through that house and cleaned that mug out. I don't care. I'm like Denzel say, I'm leaving here with something. You gonna get this house, but I'm taking my stuff. Friday night comes and I'm literally really done packing. I'm looking at the house. I said, when my friends come, my movers come, we going right out the door. I got everything so we can go right out the door. We don't have to wait on anything. But then Saturday I started feeling remorseful. Like I'm really about to do this. So I called him. And I called crying. And I was like, Anthony, we got to get this together. Like, I don't know where we went wrong. But this was part of my plan. I had to throw him off. I didn't care. I knew that I was about to leave, but I did in my heart feel like, oh my goodness, I'm really about to leave. But I wanted to cry and call him. So in his mind, this girl ain't going nowhere. She ain't leaving. She ain't going nowhere. Baby, Saturday morning came. We pulled up that U-Haul truck. We got that stuff up out of that house. And I felt so free. But before I did that, since we had cameras all around the house, Thursday and Friday, I was testing the cameras. I had Google like, how can I disable the cameras? I went and unhooked the Wi-Fi, went and touched the Ring camera. Okay, he can't see. Seeing on my phone that the camera in the front and the back, it was disabled when I turned off the Wi-Fi, he can't see. All that day on Saturday, I had that Wi-Fi turned off because I didn't want him to know who was going in and out. I didn't want him to see me move. Yeah, of course, he was 8 hours away, but I don't know how long it's going to take us to get all this stuff out this house. We got to go. We got to move. We make one trip to my apartment, take everything out, go back for the second trip. We're in the house getting the last little bit of things. And all of a sudden, I hear, Candace, he knows. He knows you're moving out. My heart sunk because I'm like, is he here? How does he know? It's always a nosy ass neighbor. Mind your business. All of a sudden I hear my son say, man, you need to get out this yard. The neighbor across the street, Anthony calls the neighbor across the street and tells him it's something going on in his house. The cameras are not working. Go and see. This man is in a suit. He has been at an event. He leaves his event and he comes over to our yard and says, I know Anthony, but I don't know none of y'all. Sir, you know me, because every time I come outside, I'm stretching or walking. You go outside and you're staring at me. You know who I am. I come out the house and I'm like, are you on the phone with him? He said, yes. I said, hang up the phone now. He was like, what? I said, he beats me. Hang up the phone now. He was like, oh, I didn't know. What do I supposed to say to him? I said, you don't say anything. Hang up the phone. The police was sitting right between my house and another house watching. So the police were called as well. We packed up the rest of that house because we weren't doing anything we weren't supposed to do. Went down the street and I was free, y'all. I was finally free. With my stuff. I left his car. He took my car to out of town with him. I left his car there because I said, this man probably got a tracker. I'm not letting him find me. So that's why I don't have a vehicle, because I left it. I wasn't getting caught.
Well, we all learned a few things there about how to disable security cameras. Never thought of that.
Imagine spending thousands of dollars on security just for somebody to go turn the Wi-Fi off. That was genius. I never thought about that. That was smart. I was wondering how the heck was she moving all this stuff and he got cameras all around. I'm surprised he ain't bust a U-turn and come back at this point.
Yeah, I was thinking too, like, dang, like, you gotta watch on the camera his wife just packing up and leaving.
Right.
Like, wow, that must be heartbreaking.
The confidence in that man, I'm trying to figure out where he draws that from.
That's what I was thinking. The confidence is because this isn't his first marriage. His last wife left and she didn't get to leave with anything. So he said,
that's true.
So you think you about to be the one to leave and get something out of this house?
I think it was funny how she took half of everything.
At least she was fair, because some people would just take everything. Oh, I bought that?
Right.
Oh, this. They'd take everything. At least she was fair enough to be like, I got 2 beds, you got 2 beds. You don't even need an extra bed, but just because it's fair, I'm gonna leave you this. Just so you have nothing to argue about.
Right.
And when you go through a divorce, I mean, essentially they be like, okay, well, if it's a fair divorce, 50-50, you get this, I get that. So yeah. I feel like that's fair enough.
Yeah, but she did them right. She did them right. Most people will destroy things, but that would have probably ended up landing her in jail. I knew the police wasn't gonna do nothing, because what can you do in this civil matter? You got a wife that's fed up with her husband and she's done. She's moving out. He has to be here to stop that. The police can only interfere if he's here. Like, hey, you want me to tell her to stop? That's why they did the first time. Because it's like, it feels like it's about to get to a point where it's going to escalate, so we got to just ask you to leave. That's what I'm assuming. And I like how she didn't allow anyone else to stop her from telling her own trauma. Like, you can choose what you do to me, but you can't tell me what to do with my own trauma at this point. Like, this is what I've been through, you know, so I'm going to speak my truth. And there's nothing you can do. If you want people to not make you look bad or shine a light in your dark areas in your life, then don't be a dark space for others, and they won't do that. So learn from her mistakes instead of judging her mistakes, and move forward with your life and make the best decisions to get you out of that situation. Because yes, we can sit back here and judge her last 14 years with a man who's pretty much an abusive narcissist, but at the end of the day, we don't know what it's like. Well, I don't know what it's like personally to be in a situation like that where I'm dependent on somebody and they're taking full advantage of that. So, but if you've been in that situation before, please do not feel afraid to share your thoughts in the comment section. This is a safe space, and you never know who your comment may reach and who it may help in the future. So yeah, that's it for this story time, Messy family. Now, if you guys want to see updates of what's going on in her life currently, I think she did go on to do some more recaps and parts of what happened after this situation. So if you guys want to see more about that, you can follow her on her TikTok account. I will have it linked in the description box below, so make sure you guys follow her for that. But that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you guys are having a great day. We are on a road to 100K subscribers here on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys, and I cannot wait till we finally get that plaque. But we will see you guys in the next Storytime, Messy family. Peace.